No introduction needed. Y'all know the vibes. Donations is highly appreciated. Never forced. Let's get started. Now, there's many movies that give explanations of this story. But for me to sit and think, like, who is a reptilian that they're not afraid of? Who is a reptilian that you can point out that the people are familiar with? Jar Jar from Star Wars. Now, I know a lot of people are familiar with the Star Wars story, and yes, a lot of this ties into that. But Jar Jar is a perfect example of the Anakim. As I state all the time, the information is vital. We're going to pick up right where we left off. As again, they're asking these questions. Who was controlling these small objects? And what was their function? As far as I could see in the midst of it all, none of them were performing any attack maneuvers. So ask yourself again, why we keep pointing the finger. This race of giants was so important to know our past, since there was in them ancestral human blood and pure giant blood of the ancient lands of Anak. He told us that later they would tell us a little of the history of our race, Link, how the ancient and pure giants joined with the ancestral humans to bring forth one of the most powerful forces that ever existed in the known lands to confront the custodians. This is where your Tartarians come into play. The past of the giants or the giant humans was hidden forever. Their technology and bones were as sadly hidden and forgotten as their greatness of their history. New discoveries and new giants will be today and in the future simply ridiculed, some even intermingled with beasts that never inhabited these lands, the eternal known lands where their oceans are stained with ancestral blood, which could have changed everything. Within these domes, they also mentioned that they seen strange skies like never seen before. Also, some of the strangest fruit never seen to any man. Also states that the colors were so vibrant, it wasn't no way for them to explain. Explaining the Great Dome. Each circle is divided by one or several different domes, depending on what encompasses that circle. This dome is a kind of membrane that divides a system. This information is very advanced for the time where you come from, but I imagine have you heard of the cellular theory? And this is why my imagery is here. These circles, we could roughly compare them to what we call a cell in its plasma membrane. And to everyone who's seen that video of the guy who found the ocean underneath the ocean, underneath that was a type of plasma. It wasn't necessarily water. It was known that they feared that some colonizing race, or what could be even worse than them, a race that could liberate the existing colonies, could exist and come from outside.
Who did the Anunnaki fear?